Okay, hi everybody and welcome to week 6 for Australian Culture and Society. I'm Dr. Bianca Price and I'll be taking you through Australia's institutions, and specifically we're looking at work for week 6. Now, obviously I'll get you to refer to your slides and I'll just talk to you about the basic constructs and some of the small concepts behind work and the theory of work and how we understand that. So I guess when we look at some of the definitions or some of the descriptions of work, it was Svedsten that said that the current ideology is that work should be meaningful and entertaining. Heaven forbid that our work could actually be enjoyable. He also went on to say that work is one of the most universal features of human life. And you could argue that work gives us a sense of identity and a means of life satisfaction and a means of being able to, express ourselves both personally as well as professionally. And so we look at the role that work has played in our lives across generations and certainly across centuries. It's important to understand the role that work has played in society, and obviously the continuing pressures that work plays on all of our lives, certainly moving forward into the future. So Svedsten went on to say that work has been the central axis around which we organise our entire life plan, and that it seems to be an essential area and part of our identity. So I guess that you guys are living, breathing examples of this. You're about to invest 3, 4, 5, maybe more years of your life into the pursuit of knowledge in order to pursue your careers within your relevant area and discipline. So nothing highlights that more than what you're prepared to give in terms of time, energy, effort, the sacrifices that you will make, possibly the relationships that you might lose in the quest for this career and this work that we're striving towards. So when we look at work and our identity, one of the most common questions that you'll come across, particularly in your professional lives, is, we'll ask someone, "Hi, how are you?" Or, "Hi, my name's Bianca, what's yours?" One of the most common questions that we tend to ask people is, "What do you do?" And the way that you answer that question will have a large determinant on how people might perceive you, how they'll judge you. Will they consider you an elitist, or will they consider you a white-collar worker? How you answer that question of what do you do will be a vast determinant of so much in your life. So often we find that our occupational status provides a guide to a person's social standing, if you like. And whilst many will regard this as a superficial judgment, we all tend to do that. And it does serve as a bit of a guide as to who you will associate with and perhaps who you won't. So often access to the most prestigious forms of work is often largely a determinant of the social attributes that you've been exposed to, whether this is your education and the school that you attended. Even largely your gender plays a significant role here. Your race and your ethnicity obviously plays a role, as well as your age, potentially your sexuality, and of course your appearance. So we look at the role of work and we understand that it's largely influenced by so many factors. So they say that occupations provide an important sense of self-identity, and that it is a means of giving a person's social life value and worth. We see that today there are a lot of social issues that emerge out of our work, and most predominantly, at least as far as this space is concerned, this issue of the work-life balance, how we are achieving a work-life balance that gives meaningful personal lives as well as professional drive, is a real challenge not only for individuals and professionals, but also for organisations as well as the government. So it's a means of securing income, and we're all looking for that stability, for that consistency and that security in our work roles. But it's also a means of being able to bond and connect with other like-minded individuals who see the world through the same lens, and hopefully with some aspirations want to make your mark on society through your work. That work traditionally provided us with a bit of a social structure, and particularly post-industrial revolution, so we're talking mid-1800s, The development of the factory line and factories coming into modern society also brought with it a change in how we spend our time. And we found that no longer were we working off the land, we were working for organisations and we were working for factories, and hence the working week was born. And of course, the sacred weekend of our time off really emerged as a result of the changing workforce and the changing nature of our workforce. So what is work? You know, how do we define it? What criteria? In your tutorials, you would have talked about how we define work. So is it just this idea of being paid, that we get a salary or we get a hourly rate, that we work on casual contracts or potentially full-time contracts? Is it more with regards to effort? Is it about the energy that you're investing, whether that's physical or intellectual? Does it have something to do with the amount of effort that you're putting into your work? Does that constitute work? So is it paid? Is it about effort? Maybe it's about time. Maybe it's about this concept of having flexible time, or your 9 to 5 working hours, or you clock on and you clock off. How does our work define us, and has that definition changed? It would largely vary based on all of you in this particular course, but at what point does your pursuit either become an aspirational life journey, or is it more about the conquest of work and a means of survival? These are the bigger questions. Now, I'll leave it there for the first part, and then I'll come back and I'll work through some of the perspectives around work. So stay with me, but try and digest that, and then we'll come back and discuss some more. Thanks.